CEO of your life show. And today we're going to talk about something that I know a lot of people love, straight talking spirituality. So it's not a bunch of woo woo, and if you let it work for you, it really, really works well. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Yvonne Dam of Amazing Self Coaching, and I help driven business owners who aim to reach that next level, focus and make more money in less hours. And I am all for bringing you the experts so you actually can pick their brain, and if you like it, work with them so you can up level quicker. And I'm very excited because today with me is a special guest, Ambila. Nice to have you here with us.
Yvonne, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
So would you quickly please introduce yourself to the people that are watching and are listening? And, let's dive straight in because you know everything about straight talking spirituality. And I know that a lot of people need to hear this.
Well, thank you for the compliment. Let's hope I can fulfill it. Hi, my name is Ambila Nath. I'm a spiritual business coach. So I help people to up-level their business by making them magnificent manifestors, meaning that they're using spiritual techniques as well as the normal strategies to build a business.
I love that. And I think a lot of people, and I know you, so, I know that you're different, but a lot of people get a bit like, oh gosh, no, again, manifesting. So talk to us about that, because right now, people may have seen The Secret, may have wrote themselves a check and it didn't work. So help us with the straight talking spirituality, because I know a lot of people need this.
I agree. Okay, so let's get to the truth. Manifesting requires strategies. Secret was wonderful in opening us all up to energies and what that meant, but it left so many blanks that experts like myself and others are kind of piecing together, then sharing that information so that it makes it easier for people. But in a nutshell, manifesting is creating the life, business, anything in this world that you want. And it's literally like magnetizing your vibration, because we're all a vibration, we're all an energy. And once you get that frequency, then you can tap into anything.
I love that. So thank you for sharing that. And I love that you also say there's a strategy to manifesting, because the people that are down to earth, they like manuals, they like step-by-step approaches. And I like that you're saying, so it's a combination of a regular strategy and a strategy to basically manifest. But I also heard you say something about vibration and energy. Can you dive a bit deeper into that? Because that might not resonate with some people.
Okay, so think of human beings or everything, even objects like, a pen, your phone. We all have what's known as a vibration. So easiest way is to think about a radio, because we all know about frequencies. We all know about the different radio shows and anything that we want to tune into. If you think of your vibration in the same way, that you want to use that to attract, say, more money, more clients, what do you do in a radio station? Or what do you do with a radio when you're seeking a radio station? You keep on tuning in until you find the frequency you want. If you're one frequency out or above, you're not really hearing. You're kind of maybe getting a little bit, but you're not actually getting the clarity. That, in a nutshell, is the same thing with regards to frequency of a human being. That when you're in a line with what it is that you want to be attracting, then the universe, like a radio station, will give you that in clarity. But if you're a little to the left or right and missing the mark, then you're kind of going to get a little bit of the life and business you want, but maybe not exactly what you want. So that's basically what I mean by frequency. It's really watching what it is that you're feeling, thinking, and doing on a daily basis.
So there are three elements to it to get your frequency on the right level. And I love that, because I always remember, especially, moving around, going off the normal path, then all of a sudden your radio station goes and you go like, oh, I know it's somewhere here, I know, and you keep like, oh, and then all of a sudden it's a lot of noise and you go back. So I can see that tweaking in my mind.
Yeah.
And I like that. And I like that you say, well, we all have our own frequency. And, it's, for me, if you're not feeling great, you instantly have this, like, you enter a room. It's like entering a room when someone had a fight, right? You come in and you don't know what happened, but you can feel the tension.
Yes, exactly.
When they're speaking already. So that's something that's what you're referring to. Am I right?
Yes, exactly. And another thing that I think people can relate to, it doesn't matter where in the world you are, is when you're buying or going to be renting a house. So, you can see 600 that have the same blueprint, but you walk into that one and it just feels right. And you can't explain why, but it's just a gut feeling and energy. And that again is your frequency, your vibration matching what it is that you want.
I like that. And you just know this is the place. And
Exactly.
what I also then like is, you can't really declare it. It just feels right.
Yes.
Okay.
But people acknowledge it as the gut feeling, it just felt right, and so many other words.
Okay, so that's lovely. That we know that we need to tune into a certain frequency. We know it has to feel good. We need to feel good. But then you said something else that's quite important, I think. You said we have to think, we have to act, and we have to feel. Tell us more. What's that?
So this is where the strategies come in, because we are taught, and by no means am I saying the spiritual strategies like visualization and affirmations and all of those things, that you block out, definitely use them. But with that, you've got to understand that you have to go through a lot of personal growth. You have to look inwardly rather than outwardly and think of what it is or how am I dealing with a situation that's being presented to me. Am I feeling, as you were saying, if you're in a low vibration, you're really not going to be attracting people or wanting to do things. But if you're in a good high vibration, then you're going to be smiling, attracting people that want to link with you, join you, that kind of thing. So it's really important for us to know what kinds of thoughts we're having on a daily basis. What kind are we more on the negative spectrum in terms of lack? Oh, I wish I had this. I haven't yet got that. When I get this, then I'll be successful. Then, or are you constantly putting yourself down? So it's really important to monitor your thinking, your thoughts. But then that also in some ways dictates how you're going to be feeling. Because if you're not having great thoughts and you're constantly putting your own efforts and everything down, then you're not going to be feeling positive or happy about yourself. So the feeling is important just as the thoughts. But lastly, like with anything in life, you have to take action, but the right action. And by doing that and merging all three together, that's basically where that alignment comes, and that's where the frequencies then match. And then you start attracting more of what you want.
I like that. So it is, I'm just trying to capture it for myself.
Yeah.
Think positive thoughts. Now, I'm a bit hesitant to say that because I know that some people say like, well, life isn't always good, right?
Yeah.
But I think the better way to put it is actually make sure what you focus on is positive.
Yes, practice gratitude.
Yes, and there's a big difference because we don't want to be like, oh.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's practicing. Adversity happens to everybody.
Yes.
By no means am I, brushing that under the carpet and saying, you don't do that. But it's even when you're going through adversity, there's always something to be grateful for, even if it's the breath that you take, the health that you have, the fact that it's sunshine outside. Just that kind of positivity is exactly what you're saying. It's what you're focusing on. So yeah, there's always something good happening.
Yeah, and it's focusing on what you have and not what you're missing, and
Yes,
focusing on what you can control and not what you
yes,
can control of, which is
exactly.
huge game changer. So that's the thinking. Then automatically, almost, because when you are grateful, you can't be fearful. When you're grateful, you can't be angry. So
Yeah,
you automatically influence the way you feel in a more positive manner.
yeah,
So that's where it starts. And then the last thing, and this is maybe where, some say the secret is lacking, because you have to take action. It's not as if you can sit, meditate. Oh, I'm in a great vibrational state. So where's my million? It hasn't happened yet. It's still, even just inviting people to work with you, it's still, you need to do something. But there is something with respect to that taking action. And I like the term aligned action, but I must say that I know it gets frustrating for some, because it's like, what's aligned action? Well, that's clearly not it. So aligned action, and I want to hear your thoughts. But what I always say to my clients, what really feels right, what makes you go like, I just have to do this. And from my own experience, and again, I want to hear from you, it's sometimes it doesn't make any sense, but it just feels right.
yeah.
And if you then follow, then the most magical things happen. But tell
Yeah.
us a bit more about that aligned action, because I would love to hear you.
100% agree with everything that you have said. That is basically what we're talking about. But it's action that's going to be pushing you forward towards your goals. And you're right that it is that sense of feeling that it feels right. And you can't put logic on it. So it is a strategy in itself, but it's not a strategy that's controlled by scientific kind of doing. It's more of the emotional feeling. And I'm pretty sure all the listeners out there, more times than once, will agree that when they've actually allowed themselves to follow through with that feeling, positive things have happened, or what they expected, but more good has happened. But for a lot of people, it's just going past that little needle and trusting, because a lot of people don't do that, because then they want to control what's on the other side. And in some ways it's more about being that child again and going, you know what, I'm just going to go for it, and then when I'm at the other end, I'm going to enjoy it. But yes, aligned is very much trusting the feeling.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. And I'm thinking about, I just came out of a coaching call with a client where she's writing a book, and she knows that if she's in the right state, and if she feels great, and she's in the right environment, it just flows.
Yeah,
It's almost as if she's unstoppable. So we were also looking at, okay, how can you create that state? Because if you can go back to it again and again, it gets easier to
yeah,
trust that it will come. Whereas it's almost, and I find that such a counterintuitive thing. Whereas if you go like, yeah, I need to make it happen, nothing is going to happen. And that's a bit with this as well, isn't it? The more you get like, the less it's really gonna manifest. Can you talk to us a bit about that? Because that's, I know there's so much going on about manifesting that it almost comes like, and then it doesn't happen.
exactly. And that's where the resistance comes in, where you need more confidence in yourself, more clearing of because as I said, everything to do with manifesting is about personal growth, but it's an inner journey. And you really need, and hence why I was saying that on a radio station, you're either spot on or you're 1 degree, either way. And that's because you're not releasing or letting go of your fears. Because the feeling part, which I was also talking about, is your belief system. You have to believe that you're going to get it. You have to have that faith that, or more, because the universe always gives us more rather than specific to what we want. But we have to trust and believe that. And when we're trying to control timing, as we do as humans, we live on linear, universe doesn't. when we're trying to control that timing, trying to control that I want a red car and the red car has to be this car, but the universe goes, but I want to give you 10 times better. And you're like, no, but it's this car. That's where the resistance comes in. And when it doesn't come in the time frames we want, how we want, we just literally are banging our own heads in terms of the energy. And that's when delays happen. And then people go, oh yeah, but manifesting doesn't work. Yeah. And that's when they stop trusting, in which case the universe goes, okay, another obstacle. So every time you kind of put resistance in the pathway, the universe will put another delay. So think of Amazon order. You know the date you're going to get it, but you don't trust it. So therefore there's going to be a delay and a delay and a delay and a delay. And things keep on tweaking and changing and everything. So it is very much about trusting that process and just letting go of attachment to it. It's not letting go of the outcome, but letting go of the attachment to it. There are so many times where people will go for jobs or new contracts and they'll do it and they'll send the documents off and then they move on to the other one and they've forgotten all about it. And then all of a sudden, they'll get that job, they'll get the money, they'll get whatever it is. And it's because they weren't constantly thinking about it or worrying about it or trying to control it. So it really is about letting that go and just doing the right actions every single day and maybe focusing on your next project or the next thing that you want.
But isn't that also really hard? Because if I'm setting a goal for myself to manifest, or if I'm setting a desire, this is what I really want, then I really want it, and especially when I'm expecting it to come in, I really, really want it. So how do you stop yourself from not going like, I really want it like now? Because if I really want it, I want it now or yesterday. I don't want it in 3 years. So that's like this again. It's trust, but I want it now.
And that again, sorry, as you were saying that, I was just laughing because to the universe that is a child throwing a tantrum, in terms of I want it now and banging your heads, and the universe is going to go, fine, and do the work. If you do the work, you get the reward. You haven't done the work. So it always comes back to us being responsible. By no means, and please have that energy of I want it, but have it with the right level of energy where it's excitement, where it's, yes, I know I'm going to get it. Yes, I deserve it. Not the demanding and the I deserve it, it's mine, because that energy is coming from anger and negativity. And you're never served anything when you have that kind of energy. So yes, 100% have the energy, but turn it around. So it's not fear-based or anxiety-based, but it's based on belief. It's based on wanting it and excited about it and knowing and having that trust and faith. And always, always, always comes back to you have to take responsibility for what you're doing, what you're feeling, and how you're going about things.
I love that. I love that tantrum picture because I really see that. Yeah.
Energy. It's like Tony Robbins says that anxiety and excitement hormonally and experience-wise are exactly the same. Attach a different word and it becomes a different feeling. And this is basically what this is about. It's exactly the same feeling, but just attach a different word and you will flip, what it means to you.
I like that. Okay. So when people want to connect with you, they best do it via Instagram, right?
Yes, it is. Easiest way, most active, and you're likely to get a speedier response from me.
Okay. So everybody can see your handle. Now, time has flown by, so this was very fascinating to me. Tell me one final question before we go, because this is the CEO of your life show. How are you the CEO of your life?
I am a CEO of my life because I'm trusting and doing the work that I need to do, and knowing that I'm serving the people that I absolutely love and adore, and I am magnetically attracting the people I want to be working with.
I love that. Okay, so if anybody wants to connect with, sorry, I just had another pop up. Just said, do you want to leave the site? No, I don't want to leave. I want to go on. So, if anybody wants to connect with you, let me quickly show it again, because I think really people might have more questions. But I love how you really straight talked about spirituality. And I think a good thing to realize for all of us is that basically we are always manifesting. We are always attracting, whether you like it or not. But if you want things to change, you need to change something here. You need to change your radio station. And if you want further advice, please feel free to reach out to you.
Thank you so much.
So everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I will see you again in 2 weeks, same time, same place. Bye for now.